What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, straight back with another Alanis reaction from her 1995 album, Jagged Little Pill. Indeed, I was already planning on doing this, but when I saw that the next title was ironic, it felt like a perfectly opportune moment. What's going on, Luca? Are you going to come up? What's the plan? Well, while she figures out what she wants to do, I will say, as I did at the end of the last video, this is a tune I know on some level, and indeed during the, 15 minutes or whatever it's been since I shot the last video, I did recall a couple of lines. I do remember there's a line about like different utensils, and I forget if it's like 1,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. It's something to that effect. I may be getting the particular cutlery wrong, but I do remember that, and I remember the line about a free ride when you've already paid, which, if I recall correctly, when I first heard it, I thought it was a free ride when you're already late, which is not directly ironic, but I remember when I learned what the line actually was, I was like, oh, like my line still kind of works, because, you know, the free ride, you can't enjoy it, and it's not good if you're on your way to somewhere where it's going to be a problem, so. But yes, when you've already paid. So yeah, it's funny, because when you call something ironic, there's an implicit understanding that there's some negative or unfortunate aspect to it, meaning like happy accidents, things which like, like, oh, can you believe it? Like, it just so happened that way. They're serendipities. They're things that are seen as fortuitous, whereas if you call something ironic, it's like, oh man, you wanted this thing and it didn't come to the very end and it was too late. It's so ironic. So I do wonder exactly the full run of the lines in the tune, which I'm not remembering. So we'll see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Alanis Morissette. The tune is ironic, and I don't mean that as a qualitative description, but as a proper noun depiction, and therefore it is from the 1995 album Jagged Little Pill. This isn't quite I didn't remember this intro.
An old man turned 98. He won the lottery and died the next day. It's a black fly in your Chardonnay. It's a death row pardon, 2 minutes too late. And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride when you've already paid. It's the good advice that you just didn't take. And who would have thought with figures? Used to play it safe, was afraid to fly. He packed his suitcase, kissed his kids goodbye. He waited his whole damn life to take that flight. And as the plane crashed down, he thought, well, isn't this nice? And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride on your already paid. The good advice that you just didn't take. And who would have thought it figures? Life is fun for you, sneaking up on you and you think everything's okay and everything's going right.
Open it every day.
Life is a fun way, and when you think everything's going wrong and everything blows up in your face. The traffic jam when you're already late, and no smoking sign on your cigarette break. It's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a
I
knife.
got it right.
It's meeting the man of my dreams, and then meeting his beautiful wife. And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? A little too ironic. And yeah, I really do think it's like
time someone mentions life's little ironies to issue one of the examples given here as why that always should be viewed with a bit of a wary skepticism. But again, I love the examples that are put forward in the idea of, you won the lottery and you died the next day, or you got a stay of execution but they actually just pulled the switch, and all the things where it's like, oh my god, like, can you believe it? Like, and I do enjoy the use of the line, it figures, which is sort of like a Murphy's Law, that if something can go wrong, it's definitely going to happen at some point. So it feels like there's a bit of that attitude, which again, over the course of the album, feels very much in the emotional center of the piece, even if the previous tune had a bit of a, well, not the previous tune, 2 tracks before this had a bit of a alternative or like cross current direction, or countervailing perhaps most accurately. But yeah, again, I love the observational precision or clarity of the narrator in this tune, where it's like, life is full of these things, and for each one of us and collectively it's part of the human condition, the idea of just missing out on something, or just something being just not the right timing, and ultimately something you've always waited for and then you finally got it and it didn't work out and something really bad happened, or you have everything you need. You have a surfeit, a glut of something, but what you really need is one other thing, and you can't find that. Is a desert, a dearth. So I like the playing with the psychology of this type of experience in the tune. And again, there were many lines I didn't remember, even if a couple of them I remembered in advance, and then 1 or 2 sort of came back as they were happening. But I remembered more the powerful part of the tune, the chorus, and the sort of lead into that. I didn't remember the softer parts of the tune, the intro, and then a couple parts along the way. But yeah, just the powerhouse track, and it's amazing to me that this many tunes on an album that I never had and don't ever remember sitting and listening to. Clearly, multiple tracks on this album had heavy radio and MTV play or something, because I have recognized a few along the way. And as Philip has said, that I don't see, I've heard nothing but quality tune after quality tune, which again, I'm really positive with music. Even if a tune isn't my all-time favorite, I often key in on parts I like, but it really does feel like this album just gone from strength to strength to strength. So and not just sonically, but songwriting wise too, which again, that's another thing where I don't always know what's going on lyrically, certainly on a first listen. And maybe I have a bit of an edge here because a couple of the tunes, I kind of have some understanding of them lyrically in advance. But it's really impressive, her songwriting on this album, and the sort of raw emotional honesty of a number of the tunes is really fantastic. So let me know what you think. Shout out to Yvonne once again. I will see you next time. Peace. What are you doing, Luca?